So here I have the sewing machine set up. I realized after I set it up that I have red fabric with red thread on a red machine, so I know that doesn't make good video, but we're going to try anyway. What I have here on the machine right now is the belt, and what I'm doing is I made one seam here on the edge, folded down once with a straight stitch, and then I turned it over a second time, and I'm using a zigzag stitch set on 2 and 2, so 2 for the stitch length and 2 for the stitch width. Now I'm not the best sewer. This is a new machine to me, and I'm just getting used to using it, and I'm also not used to working with polyester. So if you have a different way to make a seam, like the rolled hemmer or another way that's more effective, by all means use that. So I'm going to do this to all of the edges of the belt and the shirt itself, except for the edges that are already sewn by the manufacturer. And I do have it on the 1/4 inch, right on the 1/4 inch line. It's making a, if it's the whole width of the foot, it's coming out to a 1/2 inch seam allowance here, so, or a 1/2 inch hem, I should say. I think the biggest challenge for me with the polyester is keeping it straight because it's so stretchy. A lot more stretchy than what I'm used to. But I'm not pulling this. You don't want to pull this too much because you'll stretch it too much as you sew. Just try to hold it. You can also pin it if it helps you, but for the sake of time, by the way, today's July 3rd, tomorrow's July 4th, fireworks day, so I'm hoping to have this complete before tomorrow. Okay, and I'm going to continue sewing the rest of the edges. So now I have the hemming on the belt and the shirt finished. A couple things to note. I didn't make the hem on the shirt quite as wide as the hem on the belt, because I didn't want the part that goes around his chest to be too narrow. Had I known, I probably, when I originally cut out the pattern, I might have made this portion a little bit wider, and that's something you can think about when you make one on your own. But this is going to be fine for now. The other reason is it's a little bit more difficult to get around these curved edges if the hem is a little bit wider. So what I'm going to do now is pin in place where I want to sew the belt. Then I'm going to get zipper back up on the table and we're going to try it on. Now if you do that, just make sure that you don't hurt your dog with the pins. I'm going to start by putting this end of, this is the end I sewed. The other end is actually the manufacturer's hem, so I'm going to keep that side for wrapping around. It may not be relevant to you if you've used your own piece of fabric. So I'm going to pin it about halfway in the middle here. And I'm going to make it so that if I'm facing zipper and putting the shirt on, that I wrap it around and up on the right-hand side because I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, put the belt over here. Just turn it around and put the belt over here so it wraps up around on the left side. This is the good thing about making your own, is that you can custom fit it to your dog, and you can custom make it so it works best for you. So I'm going to pin this. Okay, now that I've got this pinned, I'm going to get Zipper back up on the table, and we'll see if everything's in the right place, and we'll adjust it before we sew it. And now we're back here with Zipper, and it's almost like he knows he's the star of the show at this point. We're going to try to put the vest on him with the pins and see if we need to make any adjustments. I love you too, Zip. Okay, I need you to stand up, buddy. Okay, so see how this isn't quite hanging where I want it to. So I'm going to move it back. Again, be careful not to pin your dog if you do it this way. The other way you may want to do it is with like a chalk pencil. Let's see here. Zipper, you're such a good dog. Or safety pins. I'm going to put a pin here. Yeah, this is about where I want. And see, it's going to come over this way. And it'll be able to stretch over. So this is about where I want the belt. Okay. And I'm just going to pin right there in that one spot. Unpin. Okay, good. So Zipper's back on the floor, and I'm going to finish pinning here, a couple pins here, and then I'm going to sew this up along here, here, and here. I'm not sure if I'm going to put one here yet. I probably will. But I'm going to fit it onto Zipper first. So I'm going to sew this, and then we're going to see how it fits on Zipper, and then we're going to work on, while he's up on the table, we're going to work on putting the Velcro, or the, I'm not supposed to call it Velcro, I guess, loop and hook tape on, and where that should be located. That's best for him. So now that we have the shirt assembled and sewn together, the belt is sewn onto the shirt, I've cut some pieces of the loop and hook and have it pinned to where I think I want it to be. Again, while the pins are in, I'm going to try to try it on Zipper and see if I need to make any adjustments. But this loop and hook tape that I bought has a lot more of the loop tape than the hook tape, and the purpose of that is for making things that are adjustable. This is mainly for like diapers and swaddles and stuff like that, but it's actually a good thing for this project as well. So on the shirt I have 2 pieces of the loop fabric that go across the belt. In this case they're about 5 inches. I have a piece of the loop fabric over here on one side that's going to go across his chest, and I may choose to make this a little bit smaller as well. I have a piece of the hook tape on this side that goes around his chest, and I actually realized I made a mistake. This is going to have to get sewn on the other side. That's not a big deal. And this right here on the other end of the belt, on the opposite side, is another piece of the hook part of the tape. Again, about the same width as the belt, and I'll also have some trimming to do. So I'm going to fix the other side of the chest piece, and we're going to test it on Zipper to see if it fits and make any adjustments that we need. And Zipper's back on the table. So we're going to take the shirt, and I'm going to vary, because there are pins in it, so you know, you got to think of your dog as like a baby, right? Got to be very careful. We're going to try to put this, it's like a little Superman cape. Okay, put it around his collar. And now I'm going to try to put the belt underneath and see if, well, I'm going to turn him this way, and see if the tape is where I want it to go. And so let's see, if I stretch this, if I want it loose on him, it's going to go to about there. So I would say that this should be probably the tight spot and not the loose one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this piece here, and I'm going to move this piece down to about here. Down to, let's see, take this off. I'm going to probably move this piece right here next to it. Probably right beside it, so that this could be the loose part. And so they may end up being right next to each other. This part here, it goes across his chest. It's a little bit awkward, but I think it'll work out just fine. I just need to trim it so that it can go this way. And I think that's going to be just fine. How does that feel, Zep? You feel secure? Do you feel safe? You might be ready for the thunderstorms and the fireworks as soon as you know it. So off to sew these pieces, and we'll check in after. And we have Zipper back up on the table, ready to try on his new compression shirt. I finished sewing on the loop and hook tape, and let's see how it fits him. Oh, see Daisy's up. How does that feel, Zep? I would say that's just about right. I'm sure some people will be using fireworks tonight. We may even get a thunderstorm. So it'll be our first chance to try out the shirt and see how it works, and we will report on that as soon as we know. Thank you, Zipper.